Hello, so tonight I'm going to show you in JavaFX how to change the image on the dialog box. I assume that you know JavaFX and that you know Java and that you know methods and objects and that you can create event handlers and know the different layouts and nodes. So this is intermediate level. It's basics on JavaFX, but it's an intermediate level Java video. Okay, so just very quickly, I'm going to show you firstly by running the code what we do tonight. So I'm going to use a FileChooser to pick a file from the Explorer and then display that file on this dialog box. So this dialog box, it's got a click button here that will select an image file, and then when I click the second button, it will display which file I've actually selected, and it will change the Twitter image to something else. This yellow text will change, and the file will change, the image will change to something else. Okay, so let's see, how did I do that? Okay, well, let's click first. Okay, when I click on the select image, it will then open the dialog box for this is my normal Windows Explorer, and I can then from there, I'm going to select the image. Okay, so I go to pictures and wait for it. Okay, and then I've got this house image of a little house. I double click on it, and at the moment I see nothing, but when I click the second button, it then changes both the text and the image. You see, it's wonderful. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I've done that. So it's really simple. I've created three objects: a file object. Okay, so this is in my class. There's extend application. So I've created global variables for this class. This is my selected file, and this is an image object. Okay, this is a file object, okay, called selected file. Here I've got an image object called image, and I've got a VBox object. Okay, so I've got a little method here that just formats my VBox, but I'm not going to explain that because I'm sure you know already about that. So now I've got my main method that will launch args, and it will start the start method. So here's my start method, and right, okay, so here I've added my nodes, created nodes. The first button, click here to select an image, and the second button, click here to display. Then I've created an object of my FileChooser object, which is part of FX. It will allow me to choose a file using the File Explorer. It opens up File Explorer and then waits for me. I can then select a file. The minute I double click on it, that file name is then captured where the file is. So in other words, the path and the file name is captured by this FileChooser. So now I've got a normal text. I've got a normal text object, and here I've created image. So the image object is seen at the top. It's the image object. That only maintains for an image, it maintains my file location where that file is. And to actually see the image, I've got to use the image view object, and I use the set image method to display that particular image on the image view. Okay, so that is also a node that I'm creating here. And now I'm going to add my nodes. In other words, the two buttons. Here I'm adding the two buttons to the VBox, and I add the text and the image view to the VBox, and then I run my method to format the VBox. So that is very simple, you know all about it. And now, okay, what I've got here, okay, at the bottom, of course, my standard scene is being displayed with the open dialog box. Okay, now what have I got going on here? This is where the action takes place. Okay, so I have two buttons, selected file and show image results. Those are the two buttons. So let me just quickly show that again. So right, okay, the first button says click here, select the image. The second one, display the file name and image. So those are my two buttons, and I've got for each one a set on action event. Okay. The first one is selected file. In other words, when they click my select file button, then the file object would get the URL that is captured by the field chooser in this way. FileChooser.show open dialog, bracket primary stage. Okay, so whatever I called my stage, that line there is so clever. It will open up the file explorer and let me choose a file, double click on the file, and the URI or URL goes into this object. Okay, that object then contains that file name. Okay, show image result is going to run my event handler. And what did I do in the event handler? I just said change my text. And now this code here is how the computer gets actually from the file object a string value that contains the path and the file name that I've clicked on earlier. Okay, so here this field chooser show dialog box that actually captures that file name, and here I have to, from my selected file, which is a file object, I've got to then take the URI to URI, which is a method on the file in the file class, and then the to string. Got to take the URL, extract it again as a to string with to string as a string value, so I can add it to my set text, and also use the same syntax. Okay, selected file dot to URI dot to string, and I use that as the path for the image, and I set my new image. So that's how simple it is. When somebody clicks selected file, it's going to open the file chooser, and when I select the second button, it's going to change the text in the image. And I'll just very quickly run it again. I don't want to put such a long video really. I want to make my videos much shorter, but it's now going to show us again. So here when I click select image, okay, so now I've got to again go to find the image. Okay, so let's quickly do that. I find the image, and there it is. Okay, and when I click the display name, it changes. You see, magic. Well, anyway, I hope you learned from that. Thank you very much. Bye bye.